Hello, welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is John Viglotti. On behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for our next presentation from Legible. Please note you can submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Schedule Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Khalid Hainsworth. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Legible, Inc., which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol LEBGF and on the CSE under the symbol READ. Welcome, Khalid.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here. Just before I get started, I want to do a bit of a shout out, a personal shout out now. To the Canadian Securities Exchange and also to the OTC. And from what I've been meeting with Aquis, I can see they're in the same category as well. They have been incredibly supportive of our company on the markets. And I just have to say, it was mentioning earlier about some markets not being right for all companies. Well, I got to say, we have nothing but good things to say about both exchanges. And so thank you to the representatives of both exchanges. I can say thank you to you personally right now. And that's not something you get to do often. So I'm delighted to be here today and to introduce you to Legible. Some of you may already know a little bit about Legible. For those of you who don't, I look forward to sharing that over the next few minutes here. And I'm going to talk about, first of all, I'm going to talk about broadly what is Legible. I'm going to get into how specifically what we offer on the customer side, what we offer on the publishing side. Then I want to bring it all together and talk about how we are going to market with it all. And then I'm going to leave time for questions at the end. So hopefully we'll have an opportunity to really get into the meat of things. I'm happy to do so as well. So as you can see, Legible, we talk about making millions of books available for billions of people. And we are facing a new kind of world. People all around the world are getting access to the internet. They're getting access to knowledge in places that have never had that before. And they're doing so just directly and exclusively because they're all getting these now. 1 billion people a year are getting access to the internet for the very first time through this. And that means more and more people are looking for books and they're looking for knowledge in places in the world that have never traditionally had access to both. And so we're here for them. We believe, in fact, I gave a keynote speech at the London Book Fair called How the Next 1 Billion Will Read. The speech was actually picked up by African journalists and reported and spoken about because it's very, very serious. People are looking for these opportunities and we're showing up to deliver them, we hope, in unique ways. So I'm going to get started here at the presentation. Obviously, our cautionary statements for those of you who can speed read tiny text. Now's the moment to do it. But I'll move on. Your moment's passed. Now, Legible. Just before I begin to explain what those 4 characters are in the thing there, you're seeing, and really for the first time, you're the first people to see 4 characters that were created by Stan Lee. Legible has exclusive publishing rights to never before seen Stan Lee characters. We've assembled a writer's room and illustrators, and we've got a whole team ready to go. And these are the first time anybody has seen those 4 characters that our illustrators have created. And we're looking forward to the future announcements and more in that capacity. We're very excited about storytelling at Legible, and we'll get into it. But to get into the specifics, first of all, we're a global platform streaming millions of ebooks and audiobooks. It's a pretty simple structure. We made Legible, the app itself, to be the same experience that you'd have accessing music or podcasts, for instance, on Spotify, or accessing films on Netflix or Amazon Prime. We wanted to give that same seamless experience that people are accustomed to in other forms of entertainment. We wanted to give it in the form of books and audiobooks. In addition to that, we took ebooks and audiobooks, which have traditionally been on separate platforms, and we made them into one platform so that you can go back and forth between an audiobook and then you can switch over to the ebook if you want to do so as well. We put them all in the same place, and we made it so that you can access them little bits here. Any way you want to access that knowledge is the way that we're offering it to you, because we want people to access books their way and have that kind of freedom. No more of these tokens and limited amounts here and pretending things are unlimited. No, we're really giving it to people the way that they want them. We're also a supplier, emerging supplier, I should say, to the automotive infotainment systems globally. Legible is the first book company to provide an auto app that includes both ebooks and audiobooks for auto drivers. We have contracts and partnerships with all of the infotainment providers to the automotive OEMs. We are expanding into that world very quickly because we have our own native auto OS app that we've developed, and we're the first to do it for both ebooks and audiobooks. We're very appealing to the automotive companies around the world. So we're already talking to numerous, and we look forward to doing some major partnerships, both marketing as well as integrating our app and our service directly into vehicles for customers. We can come back and talk about that at length and in detail. We developed an iOS app. We developed an Android app. As I mentioned, we have an Auto OS app. And then, of course, we built things for the browser as well. So you can access your content right now if you want to download Legible on any one of the app stores. You're welcome to get into your car. We may be already in your car, actually, so you can access it there, making it seamless, because what we wanted was for people to be able to be reading on, say, their iPad, and then they want to hear the audiobook when they take out, their dog for a walk. And then they want to switch from the audiobook as they're getting in their car, it's into their car. They just want it seamless. So everything is synced across all of your devices and on the browser. And the browser is important because there are tens of millions of people who do not have access to apps, but do have access to browsers. So we may, especially in places like India, where we're already talking to a major auto partner there, and where we're talking to others about launching into doing a major focus on India at a later date when appropriate. So having things in a browser is so critical because it allows for more accessibility. And accessibility is really the problem that has run through publishing in the 21st century. And we're solving the problem of accessibility. And when you solve the problem of accessibility, it's not just a warm, fuzzy thing to do. It actually also increases the market for publishers, because now you have tens of millions, billions more people that can access your content without having to be forced into some proprietary app of some kind. So a browser-based system is very important. And also, by the way, very, very difficult. I personally am one of the world's foremost, they say, it's true though, reading system specialists. And I'm a technical founder of the company. I speak multiple computer languages and languages, etc. So it's very important to explain that a browser-based reading system is incredibly difficult, but also essential for 21st century readers. And that is how the next 1 billion people will read. It won't just be in apps, for sure. You already know we're publicly traded, LEBGF here, and on the CSE as READ, and in Frankfurt as D0T. Now, we're also, in addition to that, a prestige publisher of original multimedia and AI content. That's what I'm going to share a little bit with you today. Really excited to do that. You're going to see some things that have never been seen before, and we're looking forward to sharing that. We are the first company to apply AI to publishing and to books. And I want to be cautious here and just mention, we'll get into this in much detail, but it cannot be overstated how uncomfortable and complex the issue of generative AI is in the publishing community industry. They are terrified and concerned, and so are creators and authors, and for good reason. For good reason. We are the first people to integrate AI and to have built a librarian AI that integrated into our platform. And when we did that, we received a phone call, an email, and then we had a meeting within a week of our announcement by one of the largest publishers in the world and their legal team. They sat down with us, walked through everything we did. They wanted to make sure that we were on side before they decided to take their books immediately off our platform. They didn't take their books off because they found out that we were doing so and using AI ethically as they understood it. And of course, what is ethical in AI? We're all figuring it out right now in real time. But I think common sense dictates that we kind of know what is and isn't. Nonetheless, we are forging ahead and building AI as reading and education tools into our platform. I believe that AI is not so much a product, but a tool for us in the publishing industry, and an extraordinary one. And I look forward to unpacking that shortly as well. But we're the only ones in the world that can build this multimedia AI books, and we're the only ones in the world that can integrate it directly and seamlessly into a globally accessible platform. And so we're excited about that. Of course, we can also white label all of our solutions, and we're doing so for education partners we're talking to now. We're looking forward to moving strongly and quickly into the education market with our technology as well as with our books, because we have an extraordinary catalog to collect for education partners. And of course, we're building in our AI tools into all of that. You know, it bears saying that we are a values-based organization. We got started this for accessibility, got started with this to drive literacy and sustainability and diversity. And when we talk about diversity, it's not a buzzword. It's really just easy to explain. When we talk about diversity in publishing, we mean we want to make sure that people who are writing books in parts of the world that have never been published to the rest of the world have that opportunity to do so. There are geniuses in other languages and cultures that don't have access to traditional publishing or to readers. We're trying to create that opportunity for them to do so. And obviously, we are driven by accessibility because if you can solve the problem of accessibility, you open new markets, you drive more revenue to publishers, obviously to us, and you open up a world that is looking for more knowledge and more reading. Now, obviously, there is major market opportunities in the emerging global ebook market. I won't dwell too long in this. Anybody can do their research and see, but you can see that we're scheduled, projected to reach $32 billion by 2032, and I actually think it's going to be more than that and faster than that because of the amount of people coming online and looking for books. We are constantly deluged by people around the world and publishers who want to talk to us about what they can do. And we're already collecting, we have multiple languages, and we'll come back to the languages question in a moment. But really, how is Legible capturing the market share? And I'm going to come back to this as well, but it's important to mention up front that we are, first of all, spending daily on data-based effective advertising. It's essential. We've built everything. It's taken us a long time. It's a challenging thing. Believe me, talk about a moat around our company. You try to go out and get millions of books and then build multiple apps that it can actually stream all of those books effortlessly. It's a challenging thing to do. Having built all that, having done all that, we're going to market with data-based advertising. And I'll come back to that later when I talk about our advertising partner and why we're so confident in them. And I'll talk about the experience and the process of capturing our market through effective data-based ad spending. And of course, we're doing that by driving our customer acquisition cost down. And that is a constant amount of work. A great deal of my time and my team's time at the moment is focused on that customer acquisition number. I mean, we're myopically focused on it because the further we drive down that CAC, the more we get for the money that we spend on the advertising, the more people we get into the funnel, and it gets hyper data focused in that capacity. So I spend really parts of my days just looking at data, talking about data constantly, because that's how we're capturing and building our business. And obviously we're offering the lowest rate in the market for unlimited access to millions of ebooks and audiobooks, and not just pretend access, but real access. And we're offering the best rate on the market. Just classic way to get people onto the platform to try you out. And of course, we're creating compelling water cooler content to further differentiate our platform from others. In a way, it's like the Netflix model, really. It's, we have all this content for people to enjoy, but we're creating all kinds of new content as well to actually augment that and create experiences that people talk about and want to go back and read or look for the next series and more. And we're just getting started with that as well. So I'm going to move to the next slide here. Now, Legible Publishing, I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit on that vertical within the business, because it is very important for reasons, again, that I will come back to and reinforce later. But we're creating our own kind of book on Legible, in addition to all the other kind of books. We want people to experience books. We want people to engage with books like with multimedia content and AI tools that are built right within the book itself. We think that's how the next generation will continue to read and encounter books in the digital environment. Look, when I have years and years and years of experience in the print publishing industry. In fact, I'm an expert as well in how to construct and make books physically, print and stitch and glue and all those things. So I know what the value of a real printed book is, but I also know its purpose and I know its limits. And a printed book is wonderful and serves a specific purpose. Sit down on a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, sit down with a cozy with a nice printed book and read it. There's nothing better in the world. Digital reading is different. We read differently in digital environments, and we have to stop pretending that we read the same as when we read a physical book. It's just a different physiological experience, let alone anything else. So we're really creating books for the digital environment that are unique in the publishing industry, in the digital publishing industry, which admittedly I have a hand in creating over the last 3 decades, and partly screwing up too. You got to take, if you're going to own it, you're going to own it all, right? But in reality, the digital environment has been held hostage to this idea that print is the real thing and digital is the facsimile. Sort of like the way I was talking yesterday with people about the way that people used to think that film was just a poor man's version of theater. But we know now that film is its own medium and theater is its own medium, even if they're the same. Digital is coming into its own now, and Legible is the one that's driving it into that. So we're able to include video, we're able to include interaction points within the book, automated segments that allow you to really explore what's happening within it. And everything, of course, we're building is mobile first in that capacity. So I'm going to show a video and stop talking for a second and let somebody else talk for about 1 minute. There's going to be 3 videos during this presentation. Each will be about 1 minute long. And this short video is going to introduce you to the general concept of living books. And then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, so recently the folks at Legible, they asked me to make a video about their new Living Books feature. But when they asked me, I had no idea what a living book even was, so we had to get into it. I started with the obvious question, well, what's a living book? And one of the answers I got from Augustus was pretty cool. He said,
the amazing thing about books is that the characters and the places and the stories become real. And so with living books, we want to harness some of that book magic, but don't worry, we're not trying to make books better. You can't do that because books are perfect. But what you can do is take what's amazing about a book and mix it with how amazing movies are, how captivating music is, how beautiful photos are, how meaningful a voice can be. And then you end up with something totally different. It's something we've never seen before. And then it hit me and my brain kind of exploded. What if you had a memoir full of found footage? A poetry book paired with abstract short films, a novel told through writing, film, audio recording. Imagine a super famous musician celebrity releases a new album, and paired with that album, is a book filled with all of this interview footage and backstage photos, unreleased versions of songs, personal messages. And instead of going between 20 different social media apps where they're all bundled into one beautiful book, but it's so much more than that. It's a living book. And there's never been a platform that could hold something like that, but now there is. With Legible, books can come to life.
Murphy is alive and well, as my friend says, and that's a slightly wrong video. It was an early draft, actually, but you all got the point. It's my fault. I sent in the wrong one, nonetheless. Now, in order to increase accessibility and to continue to differentiate our offering, and also to make a serious offering to the market in general, we recently, just last week, announced a strategic partnership with Canby.ai. They're an AI text-to-speech company or speech-to-speech company. They have a very interesting AI model, which is different than, say, models such as the models that companies like 11 Labs, who we spent a year speaking with. And we chose Canby.ai, frankly, over 11 Labs because their model is more specific and more helpful to us in the publishing world. With Canby.ai, Legible is now or soon going to be able to make its hundreds of thousands of audiobooks instantaneously available in 160 languages and dialects. And that means that you can, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. You can pick up one of Legible's audiobooks, I need it in Spanish, Hindi, Ukrainian. You can have that in the author's original voice, because their technology isolates the voice from the background. It translates the voice, and so my voice, if I was reading my book, I'm an author as well. If I was reading my book, I could be reading it in any one of those languages, and you wouldn't know. It's really, really extraordinary. And they can also do it for text-to-speech. So that means that we can take our millions of ebooks that we offer from hundreds of publishers and make that available as well someday into all of those languages at the tap of a finger. But again, I want to just put some cautionary tales there and just mention publishers are very concerned. So we're taking our time with this. We're walking them through this process. There are millions of books in the world and on our platform, frankly, that we don't need to be so precious about, whether it be car manuals or economic studies. We don't need, special voices. It doesn't matter who's reading that content, whether it's synthetic. Most people don't care about that kind of content. Your favorite author, you want to hear your favorite author read a book, and we'll be able to do that with Canby.ai as well. So we are very excited about how this partnership is going to augment our offering. And we have a little video here that our friends over at Canby.ai shared with us. Again, another short video that will really articulate a little bit more of what they're doing. So here that is.
It's coming out in German, and it's coming out in Czech, and it's coming out in a few other languages. Muitos de vocês mostraram interesse em traduzir o livro.
Taste right now of the ice cream right off the line.
C'est un peu comme si tu tranchais un morceau de viande et que tu vérifiais s'il est cuit à point. J'ai vraiment hâte d'y être.
In diesem nicht-technischen Kurs lernen Sie, wie Sie den Aufstieg der künstlichen Intelligenz bewältigen können.
Considerando que ha sido uno de las mejores devolvedores que el juego ha visto jamás.
Quiero decir, sí, probablemente sea el caso. En primer lugar, su servicio era muy preciso y exacto. Además, respaldaba muy bien su servicio.
Creo que todos nos preguntamos cuando sucedió en juegos consecutivos, en su regreso, si recibiría una ovación de pie. Así es, sí, bien merecido.
Hacemos fin.
رئيس قوات واغنر يفيجيني بريغوجين قام بخدع US intelligence sources told CNN that Prigozhin 花对俄罗斯军事领导层发起
He hasn't been himself lately.
अनी मैंने तुमसे लाख बार कहा मरियम हमें उसे एक मुल्ला के पास ले जाना होगा
Señor de la humanidad y sanador de enfermedades.
Right. We're pretty excited about that and what that's going to do for books and how we're going to unlock all of our books and really offer incredible features and opportunities for people to explore. Now, we are publishing as well. We're taking a whole bunch of classics such as these classics, also other classics like Jane Eyre and many of the novels and classics that you know and love, and we're making them into AI books. So we started with Animal Farm and moved on to Christmas Carol, and we're just about to release Frankenstein this month, obviously. Actually, I was told last night that we're releasing Frankenstein AI to the world on Thursday next week. We have a massive advertising PR group a PR blitz that we're going to really promote it and show, and we're excited about that. But in these books, it really allows you to, as you can see, we've got the artists are co-developing their art with the AI itself. So it's artist-driven AI works, and it's very interesting to read in both Animal Farm and A Christmas Carol just how the artist actually explored that intersection between AI and art. How do you talk about it from a generative sense? So in that capacity, we're also moving into other capacities as well. But I'll show you a little video now of just a little sneak peek, an early draft of Frankenstein AI as well. So this is just basically, this was an early draft, and it's not a very sophisticated recording, but it gives you an idea of just how things are. And that's just a standard book that we developed here. The art was actually produced by one of the, by an artist whose work is on the moon, of all places. And so he really co-developed the art with us on this book. And what you're not able to see yet, because it's an early draft, is just how the AI is integrated in this. So you can actually have conversations with Victor Frankenstein and with the monster and with the characters. It's really an extraordinary experience to go through, and it's immersive. And by the way, this is the desktop version, and I have to say the phone version is just so much more powerful for me. So we're also partnering with iconic celebrities such as Christina Ferrari, creating her best-selling. She's a best-selling author. We created a whole series of cookbooks with her. She was just on Drew Barrymore's show for the second time, and Good Morning New York. She's just all over the place about her cookbook. And so we're so excited about what we can do. She worked with us to train a sous chef AI that is embedded in the book. So when you're making one of her recipes and you don't have an ingredient, or you want to know what wine pairs with it, you can just tap on that and you can have a conversation with her sous chef that she's trained. She calls it Chef Al. Anyhow. We also brought on, and this is more about the Stan Lee characters. We work closely with our advisors to some of our advisors to the company, Batman executive producer Michael Uslan and David Uslan, a publishing industry icon, really, to really create these extraordinary characters. And we're looking forward to the kind of comics that we can create. We're not just creating normal comics; we're creating a whole world for people to explore, and also interactive experiences as well in those comics. I mentioned that we're going into the automotive infotainment industry. We're not just producing, offering all of our content to them, but we're also offering our content generally, our AI content directly, and we're working with curating special catalogs for VW and Audi and other manufacturers. Are excited about where that's coming as well. We are quickly establishing high-profile strategic transit partnerships, and so this is giving opportunities for people to read on the go, as it says here, and we're actually about to expand those opportunities. In this particular case, with Toronto's Metrolinx and Go Riding system. We're going to be offering podcasts and films and so much more. So we're very excited about that. And I will, I'm running out of time, apparently. I didn't realize that. But, so I'm going to pause here and make sure that there's opportunity for questions. But Gamematic is the company that we're working with from our marketing and advertising perspective. And then we have our Krupp agency, which is our PR partner. And they're the ones that are really putting together all the opportunities to discuss. So I will pause that This is our offering. We're making an offering right now. And it's a little bit, we're about to get into all of the aspects of this particular offering. Information is there, but I know that I'm running out of time and I want to leave questions as well. So,
any questions from the audience? Hold on one second.
By all means, by the way, we're offering everybody 2 months at no cost on us, unlimited. So please go ahead. Yes.
Yes. I'm a big user of Audible and Kindle.
Yeah.
Are they talking about this stuff? And what is your CAC right now? And how are you bringing down your CAC? And what is it right now?
So our CAC is actually very, very good. we're driving our CAC down on an ongoing basis, and we expect that our CAC is going to be, I was told not to get into numbers, but I will. So just a little bit, but we're driving our CAC down right now. We want it to be at the $10 to $15 level. We're driving our CAC down now to, let's just say, because I don't want our competitors to know, because they can outbid us on the ad scheme as well. But let's just say that, our CAC right now is certainly, let's say between $20 and $50. Yeah.
Would you tell us what you generated in revenue in the most recent year? And
yeah.
I know you were told to talk about numbers, but we are in a financial audience here. And also briefly comment on the business model.
Absolutely, certainly. So first of all, we are just launching our advertising campaign. We took our time to build everything out and to get all of our partnerships and to get everything together. So we're just launching now. Our CAC number is an indication of about 2 months of continuous funnel perfection and development with our ad company to continue to drive that down. And as I said, we have a target that we think is very feasible over the next month, actually, to get it down to those levels. So in that capacity, we are just getting started with revenue generation. This is our moment, actually, in that capacity. So we're growing in that. Our business model is very pretty simple. We charge $9.99 for an unlimited access. We pay out 60% of that to 60 to 70% of that to our publishers and authors. Legible keeps 30 to 40% of that on average per person. Now, if a person doesn't read a book in a month, so there's a power user over there of Kindle and Audible, and you're not our customer, you're not our target audience. I wanted to mention, I want you to enjoy your things if you want to. We have billions of other people who want a better experience or are more accustomed to it. So enjoy it. But nonetheless, our business model is just that we make $3 to $4 on every person every month in profit from that. Obviously, our working expenses come off of that, and not everybody reads the full amount or crosses the threshold. So sometimes we take that whole $10, and on average, we're finding now about 65% of the people that are signing up are not using their whole allotment. So we're keeping that whole $10 on that, and that's American dollars, by the way. So that's one pillar. We have other pillars of revenue for Legible. Advertising, we're getting into advertising, publishing, obviously. And one of the important things about having our own content, dynamic content libraries on our own platform is the same thing as Netflix. If you are a subscriber to Netflix, for instance, and you end up watching, say, 5 hours of Netflix in a month, and those 5 hours are taken up with their programming, they're not paying anything out to anybody. So they're keeping the entire cost of your subscription. And that's why we're producing our own content as well, because it keeps people on the platform and it gives people the opportunity, it gives us the opportunity to earn more on every person, on that lifetime value of that individual.
All right, I think we are at time. I apologize to the audience as well. I know there were 1 or 2 more questions. There are opportunities for one-on-one meetings. So if you have any more questions for him or Eric with Legible, feel free to grab them.
Thank you. Yes, Eric. Eric is